Hello and welcome to the Shack. No, actually not. It's not the Shack. It's Clarity Social TV. There you go. It's kind of like the Shack. It's just me on my own above the garage in the art studio at home. Here to keep you company, here to show you a few lovely products and welcome you in. Grace is with us all the way over in Brooklyn, and you're just about to see me winging it properly winging it. I just laughed my head off because I was looking at all the different buttons and knobs that I'm supposed to be pressing here to give you different codes. So look, I'll do this real professional. Right? Hi, my name's Barbara, and I'm going to show you all about these new brilliant Brayers that we've got in the cupboard. Right, so I was going to show you those, right? And then I started fiddling with the knobs. Check this out. Hang on. I just thought that was funny. And I wonder if I can keep the rain going at the same time as showing you, right, let's have a look here. I'll show you, yeah, okay, the Clarity Street. Just bear with me a second. No, see, the rain stops as soon as I show you something cool. There you go. This is so funny. Hang on a minute, I'll show you another one. This is weird. I know. Anyway, Grace is with us in Brooklyn, ready and waiting. And we've got confetti celebrating our 32nd birthday, so I'll let that go for a little while. It's easier than helium balloons, that's for sure. We'll let our friends find us before we get started. I'm just going to do a quick hour, if there is such a thing as a quick hour. Look, trippy. I know, oh, God knows what that is. What's this one? I like that. A little bit of Christmas, a little bit of twinkle, twinkle. Yeah, that's quite a nice one. I don't know why they've suddenly, oh, here we are. Oh, we'll use this one when we go to New Mexico. Then we've got the Wayne, and then we've got it persisting. So we've got a little downpour, a little bit of cloud overhead, and then we've got it tipping down. It's funny, really, isn't it? See, I can't see that far ahead. What does that one say? Ah, there you go. And that's what we're on. So this is going to be fun. As you can see here, there is a lovely set of stamps. We showcased them yesterday most professionally. And Grace just said, what is going on? I don't know, Grace. I'm on my own. I've been given free rein for an hour, a quick hour, because I've got an important Zoom meeting with an important gentleman in the States. No, and it ain't Trump. He's not that important. No, it's not Trump, but it's definitely in the States. So that'll be an interesting conversation. And I've got all my ducks in a row for that one. And then I ran out of time for this, my friends. But it's okay. We'll get this sorted. I want to show off these lovely new stamps. Actually, what I'm going to look at, because we looked at the stamps this morning, I was going to take a look at the beautiful postcards. So they are part of this bundle. As you can see here, the bundle includes three sets of stamps and a set of postcards. So that's the complete collection. You can see here. Do you know that with your club discount, it's nearly 30% saving if you're a diamond member. So if you're not in the club, it's about time you were. If you're thinking of joining one of the Clarity clubs, or both, or two or three of the Clarity clubs, then let me tell you, we've got a stamp club, a stencil club, and also a groovy club. Of course we have for our partners. If you're in any one of those clubs, every month you receive a lovely envelope with a double project, double inspiration project, full colour, using a brand new stamp set, I say stamp set 'cause it's not just one stamp now, stencil or groovy plate, designed by either Linda, myself or Jazz. So really beautiful, brand new designs, exclusive to the club members, which is great, right? But most importantly, it comes with education. So it comes with beautiful double-sided little booklets, colour. We print them in-house ourselves, very nice, with not one, but two projects. So every month you receive that. But in addition to that, you also receive said stamp, stencil or groovy plate that's included in the envelope as well. And if you're in one of the clubs, any one of the clubs, you automatically receive 10% discount on anything you buy from Clarity, online, on the phone, at our open days. If you're in two clubs, you receive 12.5%. And if you're in three clubs, all three, these are our diamond club members. If you're one of our diamonds, and then you receive 15% discount on anything you buy. So if you're looking at this, for example, here, you're saving £11, but that's just an introductory, celebratory birthday price. That's got nothing to do with the club member. In addition to that savings, our cherished club members earn another 10, 12.5 or 15% discount. And then, as if that weren't enough, anything that we are showing you today, anything on our website, up until midnight tonight, you will receive double loyalty points. So, and that adds up as well, you know. So if you're looking for top quality, beautiful original designs, and you want a really good price, then you could consider Clarity, and I hope you are already, otherwise you wouldn't be watching me. But more importantly, you should consider joining one, two, or all three of our clubs. And then that way, month on month, you get challenged really with a project, 2 projects, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects, and you learn, you know, and it just gives you something to do every month. There is a target. You're going to receive an envelope, and in that envelope is going to be a couple of projects, and the couple of projects will come with the stamps. You need a few extra ingredients. Of course you do. You're a crafter. You've got a stash. But you'll find that month on month, you learn new tricks. They're packed with tricks and tips. So it's a good idea. And you don't have to wait until the beginning of the year to join. You can join at any point. And if you call Sue on 01732 868 215, if you're not a member yet, but you're thinking of buying, for example, the stamps that I'm showing you today, or the products that I'm showing you, then why don't you join the club? And then we'll automatically apply the discounts, the club discounts, to your order. Don't order and then join the club. Do it the right way around to get maximum savings. Okay, so there you go. That was my little sales pitch. And we are golden. Let's have a look what we got there. Yeah, just excited. Somebody's spitting at me from the corner. Stop! Stop it! I said, knock it on the head. Thank you. There you go. Oh, she's in one of those moods. Right, so I've got my little peep sheet. I've got my list. I've got Grace. If you've got any questions, direct them at Grace. I can't see the chat, I'm afraid. So I hope that you're all on board here. I can see that quite a few of our friends are already in the room. Now, don't forget, I did mention this morning, before I forget anything, before I remember or forget anything else, we said that we're going to stop doing Thursday night general shack every Thursday, and instead once a month we're going to start a calendar community craft along. Yeah, so do you remember I mentioned the calendars? So yeah, so they are on your screens. Let me see. We've got. I can bring up number 6, which would be. Oh, it could be that one. No, that's the Brayers. Let's have a look. What we got there? That's a journal. Okay, so if that's the journal, then the next one, they're not numbered, see? So it's all very well giving me numbers here if there's no numbers on the screen, is there? Right, brand new, blank calendars. You get one journal, clarity journal, one clarity stamp, and a groovy one, all 3 together, item code 31843. And you can see here you're going to be saving £5 plus your club discount. And there are lots of different options if you wanted to get all, what we've got here, all 3, for example. I can't see that far away, but that looks to me like 3 builder calendars. Or you could go for what we got here, all 3 parchment ones. Nice, if you're a parcher. So you can make one for yourself, make one for a friend, and build one with me in the craft along. Or maybe you're a journalist. Maybe you want to make some journals. Again, one for the craft along, one for yourself, one for a friend. Nice, eh? Yeah, so there we go. You can see here, these are the savings. You've got the brand. Always good to make a note of the product code. But what I wanted to do today, just for this hour, is a couple of quick little demos to show you what was on offer for the first weekend of our birthday month. 32 years, celebrating from yesterday. And so normally on a Monday, we do what we call mini makes. It's Mini Makes Monday. But I'm sure I'll be forgiven for showing you another couple of tricks. So what I wanted to do, I also want to show you some artwork. The first thing is the stamps. We looked at them this morning, and then I wanted to show you the postcards because they're part of that kit, if you like. So let me just find, it's the trouble when you're on your own, this one will be, if I go back, it's very confusing because I've got all those blimmin', there it is. I tell you what's confusing is I've got all the paraphernalia, all the stripes and the confetti. So all my numbers are out of sync. But that's okay. Listen, it's just a crafty hour with a few friends, I hope. But what I wanted to show you was these Clarity Street toppers and tags. So these are absolutely gorgeous. These are prints that we've made for you, which include these tiny little tags. But you can see that we've taken the most gorgeous, these prints, and we've turned them into little gift tags, little notelets, whatever you fancy. Really beautiful colouring in. I showed you yesterday how to colour tiny. And then, of course, you've got your larger postcards, which are also beautiful. There you go. I'm going to use this one, I think. And I'm going to show you how we can colour this in. So we're going to colour this set of postcards in. They are available on their own, but for the moment, I've just got them in the bundle here because you get them free, basically. So why wouldn't you? So let's take this, and I want to show you a trick. So I'll just pop these away, and we'll stick with that one. And I want to show you a colouring technique. So this morning we looked at the stamps, and if you recall, I showed you how to. This was this demo. I showed you how to use those beautiful alcohol backgrounds and then stamp onto them, and then use distress oxides to colour in. Right, now there's the operative word, distress oxides. So what we were using, I know I'm going backwards, but I've got to do that to go forwards again. So you can see here, these are the little baby distress oxides. And as I was saying yesterday, these are great. They're in stock. If you like them, grab them now. because they're going very fast, and I mean that most sincerely, folks. They are actually going really fast because to me they're like a brilliant little paint palette. So you've got lots of little color options here rather than the big ink pads, and they are juicy actually. They don't run out that fast. And if you use them in combination with the water brushes, you know, I'm just looking for my water brush and the mix mat, you could be blown away by how effective they are. So this is a great way to color, and I was not just for stamps but also for infilling, like for painting. So this is what I used here, and I wanted to kind of compare these with the normal distress inks. See, the thing about these is because they're small, like I said yesterday, if there's a particular color that you fall in love with, like for example peacock feathers, and you say, oh, I'm going to use that all the time, then perhaps you'll invest in the larger one of those, because we've got those in stock as well. I'm a Ranger girl, you know that. I do like Ranger. But these are great kind of little tasters. Okay, so we're going to use those this afternoon. That's what I used on this particular piece of artwork when I was using those stamps. And just in case you weren't with us this morning, the stamps I'm talking about are these two sets of houses. And in case you're wondering what they look like, this is what they look like. Okay, so we were using these. Now we're taking this artwork and we're going to use it on a postcard. But this time I'm going to show you a different trick for colouring in. So we start with the printed works. We don't have to do all the printing. The printing's all done for us in the shape of this little postcard. Understood? Good. And then what I'll do is I'll bring this in and I'll show you a couple of tricks. Okay. So what I want to do, and there is let me tell you, there is a download for this one, a Brayer topper we're calling this. Okay, and you can see I've done a couple of them. There's one. So you can find this in our catch-up section, and that means that you can see exactly all the different ingredients. It's a great little thing to download and print, and then you've got a record of what you need. Okay, you can see here there's one that I did. Oh, there's another one. Quite arty, grungy, aren't they nice? Now these are using not distress oxides, although it does work, it's just not quite as vibrant. Let's say these ones now. Let's take a look at these ones. These are your distress inks. These were the forerunner to the chalky ones. In a nutshell, these are both water-based. These are both water-based. But these are chalky. They're more opaque. These are more like dye, ink, water, coloured ink. Right, that's these. These are chalkier, milkier. That's the word I would use to describe these. And I think you saw that when we were using them this morning. So, but I can show you a contrast because I did a comparison. Could I put these through the laminator with foil? Are they laser printed? Oh yes, Ronnie, they are. So I know what you're asking. You're asking, could you put this through a laser, a hot foiling machine, and would it take the foil? Absolutely, it would. All our postcards, all our prints, they are all. This is what you mean, isn't it? Everything that we print comes through a digital laser printer, and that means that it will take hot foil. Okay, so you know the laminator trick that we do, that works beautifully on these postcards. It sure does. Now let me show you how to color them in. You could do both. You could laminate as if you were embossing, like you were powder embossing the lines. So you've got that lovely glittery metallic effect with the line art, and then you can still color it in. Okay, so works. Let's take a look at this though. I'll try and stay on track here, and I want to show you a couple of tricks. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, we won't use those for the minute, and let me just take my book out of the way. And we're going to put these to one side, because you can see, if I bring them up close, you can possibly see they're quite mottled. Do you see? See the speckles, a little bit of rain. Yeah? Yeah, good. And also, I did one, just in case you're wondering what they look like, just the 3, right? And then what I was doing, you can see I've used a brayer. I used a brayer and I rolled it off, and I thought it would look really nice. Look, check it out. If I did exactly the same trick with these. It's a different postcard is all it is, right? Bearing in mind that, of course, what I'm showing you on a postcard, you can do on your stamped work as well. So whether you pre-stamp your own composition or whether you use the compositions that we give you on the postcards, the laser prints that you can also hot foil, right? That's entirely up to you. For quick makes, of course, the toppers and tags are just perfect. Okay. And they come, and I'm leaving that on the screen here, 12196. That gives you the whole set. So that gives you everything that you could possibly want. You've got both sets of A5 stamps. You've got those lovely little word stamps. They come complete with their masks. All of them do. So I'm just showing you on the back there. You see they come with the masks and the stamps, and all those loads of little assets even come with the masks. Pretty cool. Yeah, so all of that is included in that set. And don't forget, if you call Sue and you join the club before you purchase, then you get an additional 10, 12.5 or 15% off that price at the bottom. So, you know, as I say, if you were to buy that set and then go for it and join all 3 clubs and make my birthday, then you would be saving nearly 30%. And you'd only be paying £46.29 in total. There you go. That's it. And of course, all orders over 35, free postage. What can I say? Now, let's have a look. I'm going to show you this trick. It's the last thing I do before I have to speak to this chap in America. Right. I'm going to take my postcard and I'm going to use, wait a minute, because I've got them here, right? I'm going to use my deluxe red rubber rollers, my Brayers, which are here, 31835. There are 3 of them in the pack. You've got the 1.2 inch, just over an inch, which is perfect. You've got a 2 inch and you've got a 3 inch Brayer, okay? So that means, there it is. I can't believe I found the right button. So you've got 3 Brayers with wooden handles, top quality. You see, I've got a couple of each. So what have we got here? That's 1.5, 2, and then a 3. There you go. So those are my painty ones, you can see. And these are me inky ones. I decided to treat myself. Oh, yes. Especially because we're going to be doing a lot of, you know, I'm gearing up. I'm pacing myself, but I'm gearing up for a whole series, an online course with a gel press, plates, with mixed media, printing. You know, I've been practicing the transfer, got that down now, know what I'm doing, which is great. So I'd never show you, you know, I'm never ever going to do anything that I don't know exactly how it works, you know. So I'm gearing up for that, and I need Brayers to do this job. I need plenty of Brayers. So these are good. I want to show you a trick with this though. Now let's have a look. It's dead easy, real easy. If I take I've got my picture, my postcard. I've got my masking tape. I need that. I'm going to use my little one. I could use all 3 of them. I'll just put them there just in case I change my mind. That one over there is for you to show you a comparison. Then I tell you what I need. Oh, I've got it here. I'm going to use my blending mat. Let me pan out a little bit. I can always pan out and pan in again. It's just so that you can see more what I'm doing, right? So I've got I'm going to put that on a bit of white so you can see it. There you go. That's my blending mat. Got that, and that. Got that. Got my Brayers, and I've got my ink pads. Okay, so I've got my ink pads as well. Let me just get rid of this keyboard. Oh, keyboard. Right, that's better. I've got too much going on here. Right. So what I'm going to do, I could use the masks. Now, you know these come with masks. We know that. It's coming a bit closer, a bit closer. That's it. So you know they come with masks, but I'm going to use the masks when I'm isolating that. For this, I can just as easily, for brayering, I can use my low tack tape. Because when we drew these, when I drew these, I drew them with cutting out in mind. Okay, and so if I drew them with cutting out in mind, then you can rest assured that they're also going to be really easy for masking off. So, and the other thing is that I want this to be a little bit mixed media grungy. Let me start. I will start with this one in. What about that one at the end? Let's do the one at the end, or let's do the second one in. There you go. I'm going to do this one in. And I know I haven't got the exact line, but that's okay. I can stretch it around a little bit. There you go. So I'm going to isolate this one. See, so I'm isolating a house, and then I'll start with this one. There you go. Excuse my head for a minute. And I'll just stretch that in there. That's it, like that. Stretch it round. Doesn't matter if it's not exact. I can move the ink around in a minute. You watch. Right, so all I've got now is that picture, that house there, okay? And then I'm going to take, let me see, I've got a bit of mustard seed. Mustard seed is quite a bright yellow, hence the blending mat. Blending mat, brilliant piece of kit, even especially when you're working with a brayer. Blending mat, brayer kind of goes together. It's like, you know, we were using a mix mat this morning when I was mixing up the colours, when I was using the mix mat with the water brushes and just, you know, bringing in the colours here. This is a similar kind of thing, except it's smooth and it's great for brayers. Brayers, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I've been brayering for many, many years. It's just one of those things that I use a lot. This is quite a bright yellow. Mustard seed is quite bright. So if I wanted to kind of tone that down a little bit, I've got, see, now listen carefully. When I do this, I flick. The trick is to flick. When you are loading your brayer, right, what you're doing is you're lifting it up. And as you're doing that, the brayer's flying around, right? So you're doing that and you can feel it rolling around. And then when you go like that, there's your yellow, see? And because I've spread it out, it's not as intense. But the blending mat gives you exactly the amount that you need, and then you just roll up that house. There you go. So you go like that, and then you roll up that house. And if you want it to be darker, guess what I'm doing? Roll and roll. And if I go into the sky, wonderful. Right? I'm not worried about that. This is mixed media. And the longer I do this, the darker it will get. So if I want it to be darker down the bottom, I've got another idea. How about, so I've got spiced marigold. Let's have a look. Blending, blending, blending. I've got spiced marigold. So let's have a look. Or I've got spiced marmalade or dried marigold. Now, which one's lighter? Okay, so this is definitely lighter, dried marigold. So let's pop dried marigold there, right, on the run. Do you see what I'm doing? So I'm going to take that one and I'm not even going to clean up. I'm going to just pop a little bit of that darker marigold in there, and then I'm going to use that at the base. There you go. And I'm just flicking through that end there, smashing. Now, once I've done that, don't worry, we're going to use the ink up, we can carry on. But I just want to show you, if I lift this off here now, and I can't see, and then I can come over here, let's turn this round, and let's mix up. So this is all about colouring, you see. We don't have to worry about the composition. Look, nice. Okay, so we can go in there like that. Can pick that one off there. Let's have a look at this one. So now, actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I don't want to put an orange. Why don't I do this one here? Right, so we break it up a little bit. So I'm going to put another one that's yellowier, orangey, that colour. We'll put that one in this side here. So now I'm working on this one, but perhaps this time, let me put an undercoat of this yellow in again, just because, right, it's a little bit more orangey, but now let's go up into this colour here. So now I'm taking this colour, so it's going to be a little bit, see, I'm bringing in that spiced marmalade. Okay, but is it too dark? Je ne sais pas. Do I want to waste this? Not really. So how about I grab another postcard, because I'm not wasting my ink here. There you go. Let's take one of these. Let's take another one. There we are. That'll do. Let's take that one. Nice. Alrighty. So you see, what you could do now is you could have a couple of postcards on the go. You know, if you follow what I do, then you know I'm always saying, don't always work on just one piece. Work on a couple of pieces at the same time. And then what you'll find is when you do that, you, apart from less pressure on your mind, when you're working on several pieces at the same time, what you'll find, this is a tester now, see? Yeah, okay, that's good enough. I like that colour. It's a little bit different. And so you can press in there like that. Let's get a bit of depth going. See? Nice. Nice. Doing a bit of a wheelie. And then so I'm testing on this one. So I've got a bit of shadow there now, see? Then when I take that away, there. Oh, hello. See, so if I wanted to put a bit of shadow down the side of the house there, I can go like that again. And I'm going to go into that red area, the orangey area there, right? Get a bit of orange. I'm doing a bit of a wheelie. I only want it on this side, see? Now I'm going to just go down there like that, look, just on that side of the house. Right, working it in. And then when I lift this away, actually, what about in the roof? So now I've got the roof going as well. I love this. So I'm using my brayer to get some good stripe. I could get some serious stripe. Well, I wonder if I go straight in like that. See what happens if I do that. Very dark, right? But I reckon, yeah, that's exactly what I want. So now I'm getting some good stripes going. Let's get a bit of shadow going there as well. Okay, so now I lift this away. So I've left the other one behind, haven't I? But love it. So now I'm working on two different postcards at the same time. Let's bring this one back in. I know I'm digressing, but I wanted to make sure, see, this is what I'm going to go for in here. Yeah, so now I know I've done a little bit of one for test, one for best. And if this one works out better, then happy days. So I'm going to go back in here now. And I'm going to go back into that orange. There we go. Go back into the orange. I think I might even, just because, I might even add a little bit more orange. Now I know what I want to do. I'm getting a bit bolder, see? So then I'm going in here and see the thing about the inch brayer, and this is why they should be in your stash, is the thing about the inch brayer is that it's so easy to handle. Look, so I'll put a little bit of colour. See, a bit of a wheelie, and then I'm just going to put a bit of colour in the roof, on the roof, like that. So this is good. So you can always add colour, and I'm going to show you how to take it away as well. But you can see the difference between the two here. If I lift that away now, right, and I lift this one away. Now, take a look. And of course, if I lift this away, you can see you've got a really clean edge there as well. Now, where did I put that mouse? Just bear with me a second, because I want to show you. This is what I want to flag up. Is that one there? There. So these are the brayers that we're looking at, okay? Now let's have a look at the next colours, because I want to show you. If I go in here now, this is I'm not a quick make kind of gal. I really am not. But having said that, I'm going to turn this over because I want to use that colour in a minute. And it's water, so I know that I can, right? And I've got a bit of copy paper underneath, so I'm not going to smush it all over my, table, right? But you'll be amazed how much ink. So all I've done to clean this is take a piece of paper towel, lay it out, bit of water, go like that, and now that's nice and clean for my next colour. The reason I want to do that and make sure is because I want to go in with a blue really, and at least before it hits the yellow and goes green, let's at least try and get a bit of blue going. So I want to use, let's have a look what happens if I use tumbled glass. Now tumbled glass is a really nice light blue. So let's see, I'm going to take that tumbled glass and I'm going to just see what happens if I think I've got to go with this house because this one's not covered, see? So I'm going to just swoop that blue up there like so. Nice. Okay, so if I wanted to, I can take the edge and I can just add, let me see if I can add a bit of depth there. Let's see what happens if I go in directly to the ink pad. I mean, tumbled glass is a very light colour, isn't it? Let's check it. Oh, okay, we could do that. Let's give it a go. Just add a little bit of colour up the side. Oh yeah, okay. It's not that light if you go directly to the pad, is it? Let's give it a go. See what happens now if I do that. Flick, 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 because otherwise I'm going to get lines. Right, and then I'm going to do the roof. Yeah, okay. Bit of roof. Actually, I'm going to go straight in. See what that. All right, nice. Bit of roof. Oh, crikey, went straight over the top. Not to worry, it's art. There you go. So we got a nice blue going there. I like that. I'm just gonna keep that tumbled, just like that, tumbled glass. That's a nice one. And we'll take that away. It's looking good. Okay, so now let's go into this one. But this time we'll change the colour up a little bit. Let's do a bit of a combination now because we've got a real blue going there. So this is quite nice. Let's take a step away and look at what you're doing. Okay, so I want a bit of a mix now on this one, I think. So I'm just going to pop this on here, like so. And I'm going to pop that on so, like there. I'm not worried about whether it's yellow or blue. I'm not overthinking this at all. But I do know, right, that this side has got blue on it. And this side's got a bit of yellow on it, hasn't it? Yeah? So I'm going to add a bit of, and I've got a bit of blue on there as well. So you know the minute I hit this, it's going to be a different yellow to that anyway. So let's just go in here and see. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. So it's going to be a bit yellowy, creamy colour now. This is quite nice, you know. Right, watch. So I'm going to use that brayer there. Then I'll turn this back over again. So I've got some blue going still. Now let's see, I've got yellow and blue going now. So I wonder what will happen. I'm kind of keeping the edge up. See if I go into weathered. I don't want to make it too bright. You know, you don't want to live next door to a house that looks like a gingerbread house, do you? Eh? Sometimes you'd be driving along and you look at the colour of the houses and you think, how did they get permission to do that? You know, the colours are unbelievable sometimes, aren't they? Now, you see, this is a nice colour. So I've got a bit of I'm doing a bit of a wheelie and I'm just coming in a little bit on this one. So that grey, let's have a look. See what that grey is doing for me. See, the other thing is I'm not contaminating the ink pad, see, because I'm taking the ink off here all the time. That's quite good because what that means is, let me just take a little bit off there and I'm going to use the grey in the roof. Right, that'll do. Right, so this time it's a bit darker from the top. We've got some nice light going there. Now let's see how we're doing. All right, so he's a little bit more muted, you see. I rather like that one. Let's do the last one, and then by then we should be ready to, so let's have a look. What have we got? We've got yellow, yellow, yellow. I would like to go more into that bluey colour again, maybe a bit of green. Should we try a bit of green? Okay, so at this point, I don't know what I've got here. So I'm going to just wipe this off because I think it's a bit muddy. So there's no harm in just cleaning off my brayer, making sure that my brayer's good. Everybody happy? Right, let's have a look. So I've done that. I know I've got yellow on the other side. I know I've got yellow. I've got a bit of green going here, but I would like to try something. Let's do it on this side. I've still got the orange on the other side. I think I'll try tumbled glass. I mean, I could go with the green ink pad. Of course I can. It's not like I haven't got any green, but I want to show you how we can change the colour like we did this morning. A little bit of mustard seed. Let's have a look. And don't forget, I've still got these 3 to go as well. I'm working on those 3 as well. But I wonder what colour I get if I put these 2 together. Might be a nice green. In for a penny. Oh, lovely green. Lovely green. So what did I use? Mustard seed and tumbled glass. Was it? Did I use tumbled glass? I think I did. Right, let's go. Nice green. Okay. And then I think, did I use weathered wood or tumbled glass? Can you tell me? I think I used tumbled glass, didn't I? Otherwise it would be a bit dirty. But I'm going to use that in the ceiling, in the roof. There. Bit of depth in the roof. Come on then. Nice. Okay. See what happens if I go like that. Oi! See? And that's what happens when you don't listen to your own. But that's okay. I can use that as a lesson. Right, so that's what happens if you don't use, see? That's all right. I did deliberately to show you. Right, now you see how you've got your different colours and then you've got your mark there. You've got your little house, your row, your path or your brick wall or whatever you want. Right, now you've got your basic colours in place. Now let's show you a trick. Let me just clean this off again. And I know there are loads of tricks we could do with the paint that's still on here, but let's stick to one thing at a time here, eh? We're just going to take this off here. Yeah, I love this this kind of hour is my kind of speed. I like this kind of thing, right? And you can see the point, you can really see the point of these Brayers, right? So it just is, especially, let me tell you, when you start using these with gel plates, because normally when you use a 4-inch brayer, which is what I've always used, 4-inch speedball, you're working with a 4-inch. So when you put paint on you're just going to muddy it up. You can't isolate the colors. Whereas with the smaller brayers, you can really isolate the colors, especially when you're painting the transfers. And that is something I'm going to teach you. Right. So now we've done that for a minute. Now let's check these. We're going to do a little bit of play now with these colors. If I go in with a water brush, let's have a look. Let's take a water brush now. Let's move this out of the way. And let's settle down. Let's have a look at something. I just want to show you something. And what I need is my water brush. Right. And a paper towel for blotting. Now let's see, because this has been quite a while since I did this. So I've got a bit of water there. It's quite green. Yellow it is, because I was using it earlier on. So I should just clean it so it's not yellow when I start. Right, okay. See, it's got a bit of yellow ink in it. That's all right, they clean up lovely. Right, so we've got a bit of water. I could use a paintbrush. I tell you what, we've got beautiful paintbrushes. We've got number 2 and number 6 paintbrushes. They're sable hair. This is a bit big. Wonder where, I don't know if I've got a number 2 handy. I used to always have them handy. Bear with me. There it is. We sell these now. They use them for So you've got these for parchment as well. They're really useful for parchment. And if you want to get into little areas, you can use these. If you don't want to use the water brushes, it's up to you. But let's see if I can go in here. Let me just see. I want to pick up that water and I want to see if I can turn the lights on in that room. Let me just check something, because I really did hose this down, didn't I, with water. In fact, I think I want to use, let me see if I use a paintbrush. I've got more water. It's the water brushes, they work really well. They work so well that they don't let out a lot of water, if you get what I mean. So what I want to do now is let out a load of water, almost flood it a little bit here. Let's see if we can get some lift going. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking, you can use a water brush, you can use a paintbrush. I'm going in and I'm taking out the water in these areas where the windows are. Let's just see if this works. So where the windows are, I'm just lifting off the colour. It should work really well. Some tones work better than others. You'll soon see. Yellow usually works really well. Let's just see if we blot that now. See what we get. Look at that, and the lights came on. Amazing. Let's have a look a bit closer. Look, see? And that one, oh, blue. Oh, he's got those funny blinds in. Interesting though, isn't it? So, but you can see that it makes a difference when you use a good amount of water. That's the thing. Let's try this blue. Just check, because with the yellow we know works. The blue we probably did. The blue and the yellow, these were the ones we did first. So let's see what happens if I just flood a little bit of blue in here, a little bit of water. See if we can. And at the same time, we'll just do the yellow, just because it's easy. Let's have a look. So we're just going to put a little bit of, you know, if you wanted to, you could use a number 2 brush and just do, I'm going to show you, just do like the leaves. Yeah, you need to have your Dame Edna's on for this job. But let's just say, right, I want to just move the ink out of the leaves so that I can then perhaps reintroduce a sharper colour. Yeah, it's the same. You know what we do when we go with a white base. You introduce a white base. Now let's see what we're doing here. I'm not sure which ones I've done and which ones I haven't, but you'll get it in a moment. You'll understand. Let's do this door as well while we're here. Can you see this okay? Good. So I might add a bit more water here just to get a bit more of a flood going. Yeah, there we are. Maybe a little bit of light on the stairs so it's not all so yellow. Hey? Just lift a bit of that water. So that you can see that these are water reactive ink pads, aren't they? And your question will probably be, can you do this with the distress oxides? You sure can. You sure can. In fact, the distress oxides, I've got a little experiment going that I started earlier on. And I just want to see. I'm going to have to test it with you though, because I needed to leave it to dry to find out how long you can leave it, if you see what I mean. So I had to leave it to dry, and then we're going to find out together. Right, so now let's say we're just moving. So what you can do is, you see, rather than completely lifting the colour, you can add highlights. So let's say I've got a little bit of a highlight going here on the door, but I haven't completely. I could take the orange from there. And I wonder what happens if I add it up there there you go, see? So now I'm taking it from here and I'm bringing it up here like a little colour graft. There you go. Nice. So let's see what happens. Let me take a paper towel and let's just blot and see how much we actually lifted, whether we got any colour out here. Well, I can see that we did. Oh, look, all the lights are on. Isn't that super? I know. Now, let's have a look. So what we've done here is, yeah, nice, eh? So we've got highlights, you can go in again. You can always go in again and take more out. Let it just soak in a little bit. See the leaves, tiny leaves. I'm going to go in with that number 2 brush because that definitely is tiny enough to be able to take out the colour on the leaves. We've definitely established that yellow pigments, they lift better, let's say, right? But you can go in and go again and leave it a little bit longer. Now the question is, how long can you leave it? So I did a little test. Right, here's one. So you can see that this is done with the Distress Oxides. And again, I used the Brayer, I mixed the colours up just exactly the same as I did before. But I wanted to see, I had to leave a couple of windows dark to see, and a door, see if it would work. Okay, so now we're going to find out. So this I did, there's a window pane. Let's see, this has been 11:30, say 3 hours. Now let's see if this will work. If I take the colour out after 3 hours. Yeah, I'd say this is going to be a real easy. Look at these 2 windows here. Let's see. You can see exactly what's happening, can't you? I haven't even blotted it yet. This is after 3 hours, friends, on the yellow. Again, like I say, there's definitely a pigment difference. But look at that, eh? Let me just blot that so we can see it. There you go. Perfect. So that's, I wanted to find out, because I had a feeling, I just had the feeling that the Distress Oxides, the chalky ink pads, were even more soakable. You can take the colour out again, which is a great little trick really when you're adding highlights and lowlights. See, so these are, it's been a few hours, but it comes out smashing. So that's worth knowing, right? That you can leave it as well. So that means you could, and not, I would say not so long with them, but I say that I'm going to eat my words in a moment because I want to, I can experiment with them as well. Let's have a look. So we've done those and we know for sure that you can leave them a long time and they come out beautifully. Okay, right. And then once that's dry, you see, you can reintroduce other colors. But let's check something here on the ones that I did ages ago, these ones. So you know how I got these blotches, can't you? Where are the windows or the doors that I haven't done? There you go. There's a couple here. Let's see if we just go in here. So we know that this works really well with the chalks, but does it work as well? I mean, having said that, this is a few days old now. This was done a few days ago. I really like this effect. So those ones are blotting there. Absolutely, absolutely. So it can be bone dry and then it will still lift, which I think is a great little trick. And the good news is it works with both sorts of ink pads. Now, the other thing is, if we know that, now where's that piece of artwork that I just did? Here it is. This is the one that I just did. So now this is dry, let's say. So I can take my blending mat. Let's pan out a little bit here. I can take my blending mat, or I can take my mix mat, and I can add a little bit of shadow now. So I can use my water brush. It's got a bit of yellow on it, which is just handy. And I'm just going to mix up a colour like that. Let me just pop this on here so I can test it. Yeah, there we go. Because it's quite watery, you see. There you go. But for a shadow, it's just what I fancy. So now I can put a little bit of a shadow on that yellow, see? And I can kind of grunge that up a little bit. And because of the translucent nature of these ink pads, you see how you can, you're going in and it takes on the colour underneath as well. So it's really nice. So let's take a little bit of that. Let's take this side here. See, now I can go in here a little bit too, I need it to be a little bit washier. There we are. See? So I can get in there and I can put a really good shadow on that. I can go in again. Let's get a bit more water going. A bit more water. And you just take your time, add a bit of shadow on the bricks. There we go, look. This is nice. It's an easy colour, easy colouring in. And you're just using ink pads. You know, yes, of course you can use pencils and pens. I showed you yesterday how to use Perga colours. You know, that was pretty clever as well. That was pretty nice. I enjoyed doing that as well. So, you know, this is the year of colour at Clarity. We have been focusing a lot on colour, and you know that Louise at the moment, for example, she's on the 1, 2, 3 course for colour, which is really popular and being very well received. So big shout out to Louise. She's doing a fantastic job. But you see how just a little bit of shading here just changes it from that baby blue. You wouldn't want your house baby blue, would you? There you go. And you can always put a little bit underneath, just a bit of depth. And once it's dry, go again and add a bit more depth, you see? Nice, isn't it? So this is the, and then the last thing, let me show you something else. If I take, let me just take this. This is, you know, it's going to work on this as well. It works on all the different colors. But if I take a little bit of water, so I can take a bit of water in my hand like that, just take a little bit from there, just pop it in my hand like that, and then go like that. I mean, I'm proper hosing this down. Right. Now let's see. Let me just hold it to the light. Oh yeah, so I can see it's been raining, right? And you know, if you want to add a bit more, maybe just because it's just to show you, the trick is to do that rather than spritz it. If you spritz it, it really looks like a snowstorm. No, archivals don't work, Pat. Archival is a permanent ink pad, so it won't work unless the distress archivals. No, they're permanent ink pads, aren't they? They've just taken the distress colors and turned them into archive. If it says archival in the they're permanent ink pads, and then it can't work because they're not water soluble, are they? That's my guess. I don't think I'm wrong. Why would they call it archival? I'm not sure. I've got a bit of a mental block on that. Let me just check what I've got with my water now. I've had a bit of a mental block. I know that archivals won't work. Distress archivals. Let me have a look in my little stash. Because I'm trying to think whether distress archivals, I've just had a mental block. I know I've got them here. Let me just have a look. No. See, I've got my little baby archivals. Distress archival. What's a distress archival? You're going to have to ask one of the experts in the room because I've had a mental block on this. If it's an archival ink pad, it definitely doesn't work. But I can't tell you at the moment. Normally, if it were decent marketing, it wouldn't have the word archival in it. But I can remember we were all a bit flummoxed by this because we thought that a distress ink pad would infer that an archival ink pad would infer that it was a permanent ink pad. Jane, if Jane Telford's in the room, she'll know for certain. So you can see here how when you add a bit of water, I'm going a little bit extreme now because I want to show you, but when you add some splashes, then you can see immediately. Gracie, is Jane in the room? Because I'm interested now. I want to know. Okay, so you can see how you the blotches, you get the splashes on the postcards. And what you got to remember is the whole time we're doing this, these are postcards, aren't they? So let's have a look. What have we got so far? It's 3 o'clock, and I've shown you only the one finishing trick with the distress ink pads and the no, it won't work. Thank you. I didn't think it did. I've got so many ink pads going on in my head here, and I do know that an archival ink pad is usually that's why it's called archival, because it doesn't fade. It's a permanent ink pad. So I think what Ranger did was they took the distress colours and they turned them into archivals. But there you go. Right. Okay. So looking at just to recap what we've done so far, bearing in mind, I'd really love to show you the little builder. How long have we got? Have we got 5 more minutes? I bet we have. Let me just show you. Can I show you the little painter? Let's have a look at this first. As long as I'm out of here by 3:30, we'll be fine. Right, let's have a look. So just to recap, right, we know now the postcards work beautifully. The postcards are, just bear with me a second, are available in the set, which is that one. No, that one. No. Oh, this is rubbish. That one. No. This because of these blinking. There it is. Because of all these stupid. We'll have to do something about that. This is impossible. I'm just going to put a mark on my screen over all those little emojis that they've decided to add into the system. Ridiculous. As if this weren't hard enough. Now I've got to deal with emojis. Okay, so have a look here. 12196. That's the item code for that beautiful set of house building stamps, beautiful Clarity Street stamps, and postcards, which is what that was all about. But it also showed you how the Brayers work and why we need the Brayers. So I want to show you some artwork. I want to show you a little bit of artwork. Everything takes longer than you think it's going to. That was only supposed to take 10 minutes, but everything takes longer than that, doesn't it? Let me show you some lovely artwork from our painter, Mr. Painter. That's what I'm going to do. I'll show you some artwork. And then perhaps what we can do is have another session, another craft along perhaps on a Thursday night using Mr. Painter. When you've got the set, I'll show you how to use him. Okay? So let's have a look at some of the artwork. This is rather sweet. So here we have Sheila Metzeler. She made a beautiful little box. And inside, it's a gift. There are some tea lights. Isn't that lovely? So let me find, just bear with me a second, and let me find the next one. Mr. Painter, he is there. There we go. So this is the set. This is the Mr. Painter set. You can see him here. Really, really cool. And that's the stamp set. These are the 3 guys that I drew. Here are all the different little elements. And there's a mask, really brilliant mask, which I showed you yesterday. When we were, if you're interested in having a look, this was inspired by Dee. This was Dee Paramore's artwork with a little painter. And I showed you how, in the show, I showed you how to use this mask to great effect. Okay. And this is this piece here. This is what this is all about, this mask here. So as we start looking at some of the samples, you'll begin to understand where all these choppy backgrounds came from. You can see here all the time where the backgrounds have come from. I love this one because it really, Linda Spencer, it exactly epitomizes what I thought would be great, was to take the little guy. So this is all on one layer, but I love the way she's just put him up there as if he's painting the Eiffel Tower. It's really cool. Debbie McMullin, you can see she's used the stripy stencil as well. This is a great one by Jane Telford. You can see where she's used the mask, and then I love the way she's used the table thing as a dado rail. It's very clever indeed. Another one by Jane Telford. That is trippy. Look at the way she's layered up all the paint pots, done with the masks that come included in said stamp set. What a neat thing to do. Look, see the little masks? And there are little paint pots. So you stamp that one, cover it up, stamp that one, cover it up, cover it up, stamp that one, cover it up, stamp that one, cover it up. You see, so you just keep covering up the one in front, just keep moving it through. Isn't that super? I know, so clever. There's a little fella here, Sheila Metzeler. I love this one by Dee Paramore. This is actually using paint, really cool. So you can see Julie Dunn, love the way they've got the splashes. See, one's got a paintbrush and one's got a brayer. This is a particularly good one by Andy Duggan, and he's used the mask in reverse. Very clever. Real good balance on that, isn't it? Very good indeed. Julie Dunn, she's used the sploshes. And then, of course, we can move into other realms. That's lovely. Here we go. Aren't they good? Oh, no. I just think they're so brilliant. Who did this one? Sheila Metzeler. So there's some really good splashy. This is a great one. Let's have a look. What does it say? Home Sweet Home. Nice. Linda Spencer. This is a good one. Wibbly Wobbly. Look. Mad. Sheila Metzeler. Happy birthday. I love it. And then Jane. So she took the ladder and turned it into a really good frame. Love that. Andy Duggan again at his best. So you see how these work, you know, the idea behind them is, so when I saw them in Santa Fe in this like life-size gallery and papier mache, the whole idea, what I felt was really exciting. I mean, it didn't look like this, but what it captured was huge pieces of artwork by masters like Salvador Dali, or I remember the one by Mondrian because it was really bright, and the one by Salvador Dali, and then kind of in front it was almost like it was very three-dimensional in papier mache. You had these decorating situations as if they were real people working on these masterpieces, right? So that was the kind of the installation, if you like. That was the art installation. It wasn't something you could put on your wall, really. It was pretty 3D. But the idea, what I really loved, and this is what I hope that we've captured with these little stamps, is that fun element that you can, like the one with the Eiffel Tower and then the little painter just painting the Eiffel Tower. You can take these little guys and you can superimpose them, especially with the masks. You can superimpose them on any picture, you know, on any serious picture, on a photograph, and it just on any billboard, on sentiments, on our postcards, our word postcards. You know, that's that was the kind of the essence of it. And so I just wanted to show you, and I've got time to do this, I want to show you just a couple of tricks. So let's say we've got the 3 guys, right? So we've got our 3 guys, and we've stamped them though onto a piece of parchment or tracing paper, and I've put an F for front, so I know that when I stamp them, this is, otherwise, look, you know, wouldn't that be frustrating? So you just definitely stamp them on the front with an archival black ink pad, and then you know F is for front. And you know that this is the way they're going to sit on the paper. So then we've got our mask. So if you were in the retreat in the summer, you will have done the same as me. You will have created lots of these beautiful acrylic backgrounds, like really nice. These are beautiful also for stamping the houses onto. Absolutely glorious. Okay, and remember that acrylic paint is also water soluble. So this is how this worked. So let's say, for example, let me show you. I've just take this off here. So I want to show you, if I've got that one, I found a sweet spot like that. You see? So for example, I could take this one and I could say, right, or this one, and then I can decide if I want, see, he would look amazing like there. I'm just winging this now so that you understand. So I'm using my template, and then I'm using my art pieces, my lovely backgrounds, and I'm deciding, what do I want to paint actually? Where do I want to put the people? See, he could just be wondering what on earth's coming, right? You see what I'm getting at? This might work really well. This one. Oh yeah, look. So it looks like he's just starting that edge there. So these are absolutely splendid for putting onto here. Now we're working on acrylic paint, even if it has been watered down, right? It's still acrylic paint. So what we want to do is we definitely need to use an archival, you know, we were talking about archival ink pads. We sure want to use an archival ink pad. So you could use this as well and say, right, well, I think he's going to sit best there like that. He's painting that sky bit. See? So then you just lift this off, find a mount. I'm sure I've got a mount here somewhere, folks. Just bear with me a second. This is one of the things about being in my own little room here. I've got everything I need exactly where I want it. Right, which is one of the nicest things about working from home, isn't it? So let's have a look. We're going to stamp him into place, but I'm going to test him first. So I want to make sure that I know he's going to stamp up lovely, but I just want to make sure that because I need to warm him up a little bit, don't I? So just stamp him on there. That'll do. Okay, beautiful. Right, so I know he works. I know where I want to put him. See, I've got choices. I could put him like that or like that. I think there. I think there. Okay. And then I can build the rest of it around him, you see? But the first thing to do is put him in place. Let me show you. And then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you can see through him. Don't give that a second thought, because that's going to change. See, so now we can pop that in there like so. So he's been inked up well, and we're just going to plant him in space like that. Main thing is that the paintbrush is in the right place. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so he's in the right place. Okay, so now we got a little bit of a set going. But how do we make him pop? Because otherwise he kind of disappears into these beautiful backgrounds, doesn't he? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little cutout session. And what we could do is we've got choices. So I picked I've got a bit of scrap, say, with colour on it, which I think works particularly well on that one there. So I've cut his overalls out, see? But let me just bear with me a second, because you see I've got loads of these scraps that I collect. right? So here's a bit here, which I'm saving for a really special occasion. I've got these are the scraps that I was using. This is what I used before. See, so you can use, would the blue look good? Would this scratchy effect look good? What about just in white? Maybe I just want him in white overalls. Maybe that would look great. See, put him in white to make him pop. Or if you want his shirt white and you want the background coloured, bear with me a second, because I've got a whole raft of these little guys all cut out, ready to go. I'm just looking for them now. So I had a whole bag of them. Now, where did I put them though? Just stay there a minute, because I've got time if you have. And I know I had them with me. Just 1 second. Now, where did I put them? Because I had them before we started today. I've got all the scraps. So this is what happens. I've got all the bits here. Stay there a minute. Talk among yourselves while I just have a little root around. Now, where did I put them all? I've obviously put them somewhere safe, haven't I? Because I need them. Who's in that box there? No, they're not in that box. I've obviously put something down over the top of them. Just let me pan out a little bit here, and then I'll tell you where they are, because I know I had them before we started. No, can you believe it? I spent hours cutting these little people out. No, they're not in there. They're not in there. Have I lost you now? Oh, this is annoying, isn't it? But I know I had them. So they're not here. So I've got those little backgrounds. You know what? They're staring at me because I put them so safely in front of me because I need them for this particular technique. So I've got that and that. I haven't got them there. Like, right, process of elimination. Haven't got that. Haven't got that. Haven't got that. Right, stay there a minute. So I haven't got those. I've got the postcards. Where have I put them then? So I've got my little postcards. I'm not going to get into a flap about it. But I had a proper little bag full of little people, all cut out, ready to go. Isn't that annoying? Come on, where are you? I know you're there. There you are. Arrgh. Right in front of me. Do you know what I did? You know when I stamped him? Look, I threw him on top of him. I did. Right. So there they were all the time, hiding in clear sight. Now I want to show you. So I did all this work, see? And I cut them out of the little paper, but I also cut them out. There you go. So I cut them out in green, and I cut them out in blue and yellow, and they've all got hats as well. At this point, if I've lost the yellow hat, whatever, okay, I've got the little guys. I can live without a yellow hat, I can tell you that now. Right, so this is a really great template way of working, because if you want to, you can literally just glue him into place like that and then put an outfit on him. Do you see? Actually, I think he's the green one, like that. Put the outfit on him. Or you can stamp him into place like that and then put the outfit on him there, like so. Do you see? And then the way to get the hat and the sleeves to show is to use a white Posca pen. That works. So now, for example, if I want to make him jump like pop, like this one, then all I'm going to do is come in a bit closer. You'll see. When you've got a little collection of cut out guys, you can see why I wanted to find them as well, can't you? Right. So what we're going to do then, you see, you wait. Obviously, this is dry, but you can colour in the shirt. And it works really well. Okay. If you go over a line, it's not a worry. All you've got to do is wait for it to dry and then go back over it with a black micron pen. Works really well. There we go, put a little neck, put a bit of shirt in there. Missed a line there. Right, see, so now we've got a bit of a shirt going, and I'm even going to put a hat on him in white. There we are. And the acrylic pen masks, it's lovely because it works with the white in here, and it has the same feel. It's got a bit of a grungy feel to it, you see? It's cool, very cool indeed. So I've got my white hat. There we are. And then I can decide which color I want to go with and make sure, because they're not all the same, you see. I think possibly that's going to work really well. That's going to pop well. And I happen to have a hat that color too if I wanted to change his hat. Okay. So you can see how you can change this. And then once you've dressed him and you've got him working, you can then go back to the stamp set and go, right, so I'm going to put him on a wall, or I'm going to put, you could get the wall from the house set. You can add a bucket. You can use this as a wall underneath him, you know, which is what I did yesterday. But it's all very, very achievable. And the reason that we've included the masks, so I've shown you that particular trick. Let me take this one here. Let me show you this. If I find the mask for this boy, and on this note we'll finish, so I'm ready for my meeting with the guy, right? If I take this one and I add this gently, let me just add this gently. Where are my tweezers? It's always best to have tweezers when you're doing this. And then I'll call it a day, friends. So what's coming up this week? Right, well, while I'm doing this, there we go. So we've covered him up. Perfect, right? What's coming up this week? Well, tomorrow, Louise will be keeping you company at 10 o'clock in Groovy Tuesday. And then in the afternoon, Paul and Louise will be keeping you company too. They've got another hour of birthday celebrations to share with you. If I'm not mistaken, she's going to be putting these little fellas through their paces. Now, let me show you this, because I want to get a bit of a shadow, just a bit of a shadow on here. Now, you know, I could take a pencil, and I could go in with a pencil. But how about we try something? And again, you're going to go gently with this. I'm going to use my spot on sponges, and I'm going to travel gently now. So I'm going to use my black archival ink pad, but I want to make sure that I really don't overdo it, right? Because this is archival black. Sorry, start again. Because this is acrylic paint, I need to use something permanent, otherwise I could just wipe it away. So I'm going to make a little tiny, and I'm going to sweep from the middle out like that, right? So I'm going to, I'm on his bottom. I'm going a bit darker than I would normally. And then I'm just going to add a tiny bit of shadow down the outside. And you see his shirt's all covered up. Everything's covered up. So if we just add a little bit of shadow on that side and maybe under his feet. See, so you're using the mask as a kind of a springboard for the colour. And you're asking, well, could I do this with a black normal, like a black distress ink or something? And what I'm saying is it will wipe off the acrylic paint. Okay. So let's see. When we've got that, see, we can always add a bit more if we want to. So if I take this off here, let me see. There we go. You see how it's added a bit of shadow along the back? Don't need a lot, just enough to bring him out. See how it makes him pop a bit? And if you wanted to add a little bit round this side as well to make him pop, then of course you can, but we're thinking that the light's coming from that side. But I just wanted to show you how beautifully these masks work. And then it's up to you if you want to then add his little outfit, you know, which I've lost again. Do you know when you know it's time to stop? Then you know it's time to stop. So we're just going to replace the mask on there for the little guy. Make sure you don't hurt his arm. And then where did I put that? No, that's the blue one for the other chap. That would work. But it's the wrong trousers. That's that one. I'm just going to pop that on there. That's why I had it all attached with masking tape, you see. Well, somewhere there was a fabulous little pair of dungarees for this fella. I'm going to have to cut out another one for him. But I think I'm going to say that'll do. And somewhere, I bet it's on the floor. In a minute, I'll go, there it is. So I tell you what, top tip, when you're working with little pieces like this, my suggestion is you get yourself a little tiny tray, and whenever you're dealing with these little fellas, you pop it in the tray so they're not all just floating around on the table like they are here with me today. Okay. Oh, I think I see him in here. I put him, yeah, there he is. Bag, not so good. Tray, better. Okay. There you go, a little tray for all your bits. And then that goes on there. And how do we glue that on there? Well, I'm going to say Perga glue works best. And so we've done our shadow. That's first. Now let's just see if we can get some Perga glue on here. Don't want too much. We don't want a... I'll be glad to stick this one down. I've been trying to hang on to this little pair of dungarees for about a week. What else is going on this week? Right, so yeah, tomorrow, more celebrations with our birthday in the afternoon with Paul and Louise. Thursday, I'm not doing the shack. If you don't mind, I'm going to miss that one out. Now, where did I put? Paul gave me a sheet of things of what's going on. Here it is. Wednesday, it's the online course with Louise. That will be 1 and 4 o'clock. It's a paid event. So if you've paid up, then that will be a great one. If you haven't joined that group, you can always pay up now and then catch up. You haven't missed it. You could go back on catch up, can't you? And then, so that's Wednesday. Thursday, no. And then Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll be back on track with another great offer, which I hope you join me at 10 o'clock to find out about. See, the nice thing about using Perga glue is you get a little bit of wiggle room. And the other nice thing about using layers is that you get that kind of dimensional feel to it as well. So I'm just going to rub this like so, burnish the back so that I get rid of any air bubbles or... so that's 10 o'clock on Friday. There we go, all nice, all set in place. Finished. And then on Friday afternoon, this is nice as well. On Friday afternoon, Paul will be with you at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock on Hobby Maker. So do join him on mainstream TV at Hobby Maker at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. But I will see you on Friday morning at 10 o'clock. And don't forget, Groovy Tuesday tomorrow. So thanks very much for your help. Sorry I lost all those bits, but that's okay. That's all right, Bob. You did okay. And I hope you're enjoying your week. Have a good one. And let me see. I'll see you later on in the week. Lots of love. Thanks for your help, Grace. Bye-bye now.